Welcome to Immigration Insider with your host, attorney John Nicelli. This podcast is an educational forum on how to deal with complex aspects of immigration and pitfalls to avoid. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, johnnicelli.com. Now here's the host of Immigration Insider, attorney John Nicelli.
Good morning, everyone. I'm speaking to you from New York City, and I would like to ask some questions. Has anyone been in deportation proceedings, or do you know anyone that's in deportation or removal proceedings and is fearful of being removed from the United States? Perhaps you have a relative, a friend that's very fearful of being deported from this country after they've been here many years. Well, there are solutions to this problem. And one of the solutions to this problem is for those people who have been here for many years, specifically over 10 years, and have relatives in the United States who are U.S. citizens or permanent residents of the United States. Specifically, either spouses that are residents or citizens, children under 21 who are residents or citizens, or parents who are residents or citizens of the United States. There's a relief that you can file for called non-lawful permanent residence cancellation of removal. And what that means, in order to qualify, you have to be in removal proceedings and you'd have to see an immigration judge. Now, I'm not going to get into all the issues involved in getting in removal proceedings, so we'll assume for today's podcast that you're already in proceedings, which would mean that you have to face an immigration judge at some point, and you have to tell the judge why it's important that you remain in the United States here with your family. So in order to qualify for this relief, you'd have to be physically present in the United States for at least 10 years. You have to be of good moral character. You have to be basically not convicted of any serious offenses, such as many drug offenses. And you have to demonstrate to an immigration judge that if you were to be removed from the United States and return to your country, that it would cause exceptional and unusual hardship on your family members. And as I said, those family members would be your children, your spouse, or your parents, and the children must be under 21. So there are limits to this relief, and it's often difficult to obtain, but it's not impossible to obtain because of the standard that's involved. Many people don't properly prepare their cases, unfortunately, and I've had many cases where people have actually been deported by immigration judges, appealed their cases and lost, and have actually been able to reopen their cases because the cases were never prepared properly to begin with. First and foremost, you have to demonstrate the qualifications. And I'm going to go over each of those. Basically, you have to show continuous physical presence for at least 10 years. Now, that means you're here 10 years without leaving the United States. The exceptions to the law would be that you could leave even multiple times if you don't leave for more than 90 days. So if you leave for 90 days continuous, okay, so say if a family member is sick, or you went to a wedding, or you went to a funeral, whatever it may be, and you left for 90 days, then you're ineligible for cancellation of removal. However, if you left the United States for 30 days, and you left the United States for 30 days on 5 occasions, then you only accumulated 150 days of being out of the United States. As long as you've been out of the United States less than 180 days during that 10-year period, you would be eligible for cancellation of removal, which is a very big distinction because many people don't know that. And a lot of people leave because, maybe their child is sick or their parent is sick or someone died or some other reason,